You can watch the best parts of this series at MedCircle.com. More than 40 million Americans suffer from chronic sleep disorders, and another 20 million have trouble sleeping in general. And those are just the people who have actually reported sleep issues. We can all relate to having trouble falling asleep because, according to Dr. Judith Joseph, everyone has some degree of stress or anxiety in their lives. This series will give you the tools to deal with that stress and anxiety and overcome insomnia. Welcome to the MedCircle original series, Anxiety and Sleep, Hitting Snooze on Stress and Becoming Well-Rested. Welcome back, Dr. Joseph.
Thank you for having me
love
again.
when you're on MedCircle. You bring such a vast array of knowledge on so many topics, and today you are helping people with their sleep disorders and anxiety. Why is it, or why does it seem that every single person gets in bed and can't fall asleep?
Well, everyone has some level or degree of stress. Stress is so important because stress drives us to go to work, to take care of our kids, to pay the bills. Worrying helps us and motivates us. However, there are some people who have excessive worry where it overwhelms them, and then it starts to creep into their ability to relax and fall asleep. And that's why everyone can relate to insomnia because everyone has stress.
Some people, though, feel like when they're at work, they could fall asleep in a second. But then when they get home and it's actually time for sleep, they can't fall asleep. Why is that happening?
So sometimes insomnia itself can be stressful. So some people who worry about falling asleep then can't relax in their bed because they're worried about when they're going to fall asleep. And then anxiety and stress and insomnia become a vicious cycle. And therefore you can't relax and you can't slip into sleep.
So for somebody who is dealing with anxiety and it's affecting their sleep and they're not getting treated, what are the effects that has on their life?
It's tremendous. There's countless studies that show that people who have poor sleep or chronic sleep deprivation also have significant health problems. The whole body needs sleep to restore itself. At night, things shut down, things slow down so that your body can restore. So the immune system is affected, so you get more viruses and colds when you're sick. The heart is affected, so there's a higher risk of cardiac disease when you're not getting proper sleep. The total endocrine system shuts down, so people can have higher rates of diabetes. There's also an increase in memory problems and forgetfulness. So there's a close link between dementia and poor sleep. And also, let's talk about the day-to-day things. There's a higher risk of motor vehicle accidents when people don't get sleep, and higher risk of attentional issues, things that look like ADHD when people don't get sleep. So the bottom line is we know sleep is important, but I don't think we fully understood how significant sleep affects you from head to toe.
Yeah, they always say, right, diet, exercise, sleep. Those are the three things for a well-rounded, healthy life. Do you find in your private practice more and more people are coming in over the last, let's say, 10 years with issues of sleep?
I think so, and I attribute that to technology. We taped a little segment on tech earlier.
Not even a little segment, full-on blown segment.
We
series.
totally expose it.
Yeah.
Because of wearable technology, people are aware of their sleep cycles. So whether you know it or not, your devices monitor your sleep. And also, I think that the demands on education and academia are just higher these days because they're expected to learn more in a shorter period of time. So they're starting to become aware, parents are starting to become aware of how poor sleep leads to poor attention and negative academic outcomes.
So is there hope for people who are not getting enough sleep due to their anxiety?
There is. There are lots of things that you can do about your anxiety before you take medications, before you see a provider, so you can manage your stress, and you can do little things in your lifestyle to improve your quality of sleep.
And if you don't do these things, what are some of the long-term effects that a person could have?
It's a doozy. There are multiple mental health conditions that are tied to poor sleep. People who don't have poor sleep are more likely to become depressed, are more likely to become anxious. There's a correlation between bipolar disorder and poor sleep. And we talked about the negative health outcomes related to poor sleep: diabetes, hypertension, cardiac risks, stroke, motor vehicle accidents, and then it doesn't make your skin look good either. So.
Okay, thank you. And I'm wearing makeup right now, and I did not get enough sleep last night. All right, now, how do you sleep? Do you sleep well?
Most nights I do. I have to say that this week has been a challenge. While I'm learning about sleep and preparing for this talk, I'm like, I'm not getting enough sleep.
Yeah, because I'm learning about why I
Right.
should get more sleep.
Yeah.
So when you're not getting enough sleep, is it just because, well, I worked late and I have to get up early? Or are you that type of person who's laying in bed knowing that they're tired but just can't get their body to relax?
That's a good question. So we know that sleep disorders can be genetic. They can run in families. They can be associated with anxiety, which also runs in families. However, there are things in the environment that make sleep and anxiety worse. So I gave you the example of preparing all week and so forth. Stress in the environment, working harder, causes you to have more anxiety and therefore likely worsen sleep. So if you can do something to mitigate the stressful environment, you should be able to have better sleep.
Got it. Are you listening, producer? She this morning she says, she sent me a text at 4:30 in the morning. And when I woke up, I said, you were awake at 4:30. I go, why? She goes, I just woke up, couldn't go back to sleep. I go, well, you better listen today because we're going to cover all of that. What will viewers get from this series?
I think that people will understand why they have anxiety at bedtime and what they can do about anxiety at bedtime and how to relax within your own home, within your own space.
Yeah.
Because if you can't relax there, then you're not going to get good sleep.
Yes. Well, cuddle up, get that lavender ready. We are going to talk about what you can do to ease your anxiety, how you can get better sleep and therefore improve your life. We're also going to be talking about what causes this anxiety, what causes these sleep disorders, how to find the right provider if you need one, and also your treatment options. You can become a MedCircle member right now and access this entire series. I'm Kyle Kittleson, and remember, whatever you're going through, you got this. Thanks for watching. Your next step is to go to MedCircle.com and finish watching this series. There you can also access other series and get actionable advice and simple explanations. Continue your mental health journey at MedCircle.com, and I'll see you there.